Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
As winter fades and sunlight spills into the forgotten corners of our homes, an ancient ritual begins: spring cleaning. And it's not for the faint of heart, which is why you need help. The kind of help that comes in the form of a product designed to make you feel strong, capable, and in good hands. Ideally, it's one with a mascot who happens to be a muscular bald man, maybe a genie. He wears a tight white t-shirt, glistens slightly, has a single earring, and no backstory. And he's accompanied by a theme song you'll find yourself humming as you drift off to sleep. With him by your side, you can take on any dust bunny, bathtub ring, grease splatter, or general gunk with ease. Because when it comes to scrubbing, scouring, and making your house truly sparkle, there's only one man you can ask for by name. And that's why this week's On Brand is on Mr. Clean.
We're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on Brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I am Jon.
I'm Marisa.
Okay, so I need to unpack a few things from your open.
Yes.
So at least once in your life, you've had a long day, you've chased the kids around, picked them up from school, gone to Costco, didn't buy me butter. You went to bed and you were like, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
I will play it, and it will be stuck in your head as well.
There was, I felt like maybe some slight passionate undertones to your description of Mr. Clean.
I think he is an icon. I think he's a sexual figure in the culture.
I think and maybe because he seems to be the exact opposite of everything your husband is. Like, your husband has a lot of hair, no earrings. Now, he is a genie. Is he a genie, or is that question?
There's debate if he's a genie. We'll get into it in the marketing lore of it as well, but some people think he's a genie. As I was describing it, I was like, is this Alistair? Muscular.
Doesn't have a lot of hair.
Doesn't have a lot of hair.
He likes to clean.
Exactly.
No, I cannot see. I see Alistair with an earring maybe around 55 to 60. When he's gotten too muscular, he doesn't know what else to do. He runs to Claire's. Or by then, Claire's runs to us. I don't know what the future holds. A Claire's robot shows up at his house.
You call your Clairebot, and she comes and pierces your ear.
Clickety-click. Now he's got a hoop.
He did shave off an eyebrow in college.
Okay. I mean, we all experiment in college.
In different ways.
Most people sexually. Some people remove eyebrows. Okay, Mr. Clean. I love it. I like that you're kind of like, so you did what is
Scrub
it?
Daddy.
Scrub Daddy.
SpongeBob.
It's good. You're a woman. You're doing all the cleaning products. I think that's very important.
I know my place.
No, I'm very excited to learn about Mr. Clean. At first, I thought you were going to say, just do specifically Magic Eraser. I thought maybe you were inspired by Play-Doh, because Play-Doh really did kind of remind me of that. You rub this thing on a wall that's not wet and it cleans.
Oh, baby, we're going to talk about that eraser.
Oh, okay.
I'll just say, if you're watching this, by the way, you can now, instead of listening to the show, you can watch the show on YouTube. YouTube On Brand, the podcast, is our YouTube channel name.
I mean, listen, I registered it when I registered everything 2 years ago. Next week, by the way, is our 2-year anniversary.
Huge.
We're having one of our very fun, lighthearted Battle of the Brands. So I'm super excited about that. You'll find out what that is if you get I guess I'll have to do 2 Insta eggs.
Yeah, I guess you will.
But yeah, you can now I have to like worry about like before I'm just schlubbing it like, but now I have to like kind of like always feel like I'm looking.
We're a
as
little
good as
bit
I
of
can.
like, I feel like an anchor woman a little bit. Like I'm at the desk.
Definitely feel like an anchor woman.
Jon, my transition was because if you're watching this podcast, you will see that Jon is glistening to the high heavens with his super sparkly, bedazzled Beyonce Cowboy Carter shirt.
Oh, you can see that from over there?
Honey, Neil Armstrong can see it on the moon.
I've never worn sparkles. I am so on board. I get what Michael Jackson feels, Lady Gaga, Liza Minnelli.
The bling string was your gateway drug into just being like a full. Now you're like a rhinestone gay. Like that, I really did not see that coming.
I mean, I think I mentioned it on pod in the last 2 months. When I was a kid, I used to perform Rhinestone Cowboy for my family.
There you go.
I literally would get in the closet and they would come in my bedroom and I would burst out of the closet and sing Rhinestone Cowboy. And if you don't know that song, which I feel like that song it was so popular at one point, but it didn't like have legs. Like no one's like throw on Rhinestone Cowboy at karaoke.
I think it would be a good karaoke song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm a Rhinestone gay. So yes, this is Beyonce week. I went to Beyonce 2 days ago. I'll probably go more into detail in it on Off-Brand just because there's so much to unpack with that woman.
Sure.
Good Lord. Are we lucky to live in a world where Beyonce exists?
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's incredible watching her. Like that show was 3 hours long. It's almost, you and I have a real affinity for Moulin Rouge. And I would realize halfway through the show, it's like, this is like modern day country Moulin Rouge.
Ooh,
it's like,
I love that.
Campy, but like so beautiful. There's so much to look at, and it was just great. But
true artistry is rare to find these days, and there are some artists who are really knocking it out of the park with the live shows.
I know, and I've been very fortunate. I mean, some people spend their money on homes and stocks and their children and smart things. On the last several years, I've spent my money on concerts. And I've seen...
And Peeps.
And Peeps are cheap, man. People have now seen pictures of the Peep. The Peep was our first like show where we had live footage.
Yeah,
and
people were like, I thought the Peep was big, and then they watched the video and they were like, my lord.
Like the cartoon, their eyes pop out. Ugh. But yeah, so I feel really lucky because I've seen like people who I think in the future will be seen as like some of the really important icons of today, like Harry Styles and Taylor and Gaga and Beyonce. And what I was realizing, they all have their own like thing. Like Taylor made the bead business popular again. Like Beyonce, the sales of cowboy boots and cowboy hats have got to have quadrupled. Harry Styles
Stetson
boas.
is having meetings. Yes,
Who?
Stetson, the
Stetson
cowboy
is
hat.
having meetings, exactly.
You wanna really have your finger on the pulse of the next pop icon, what their thing is going to be.
What the thing is. The funny thing,
That's
Lorde
huge.
is finally back after 4 or 5 years, and her so far all her designs are X-rays. So I'm not sure what she's going to bring back, like bones, maybe.
If you're in the ultrasound X-ray business,
That's the name of her tour. I think the tour is the ultrasound tour.
okay, well there you go.
Yeah, so get ready, doctors.
Get certified to be an ultrasound tech.
Hold on to your hats. The funny thing is, because of that, after every show, the shows are so fun, but they're exhausting. I don't know how the talent does it. Like Beyonce's up there for like 3.5 hours.
And you're like sweating, just like standing there drinking a Diet Coke.
We are all so tired walking back to our cars. And the fun thing is, after all these shows, there's all the remnants. So with Harry, there's like boa feathers everywhere in every nook and cranny. Taylor, you're finding like a lost bead at a football game like 2 months later. And so I started to find all these things during Beyonce and started just to collect them.
Oh, this is a fun collection.
I'm going to show you the things that I got free at Beyonce.
Oh.
The first thing I found was not one, 2 gold like rope.
Like a lasso?
Like a lasso.
Lariats?
So I wore one of these as like a lasso on my belt during the show. So I got that.
Okay.
Then I found just a cute little kerchief. I know, kind of weird, but I was like, it's nice. I wear kerchiefs when my hair gets long. And then I got this fun little bling, this little diamond bling. So these are all like, people just, it's like Coco Chanel was doing it for him, when she's like, take off the one accessory. She just had him fall off at the show.
I love that. This would be a really cool art exhibit. It's just like found at the end of the concert. I mean, you're already pushing a big push broom around trying to gather up confetti. Throw some artifacts in there.
Okay, nice segue. As we all know, I am a confetti boy. So
You're a confetti whore.
I was going to say confetti, but like then it gets beeped out, like, and it's not fun.
And then they're wondering, like, what did he say?
And now they can read my lips on YouTube. Now I have to go like this when I say it. But I was in section the 100s, which are a perfect section.
How did you get such good seats?
That's just what came. It was really expensive. Like, I'm not going to lie. It was so expensive. So unfun.
Okay.
Not as expensive as my friend. I won't say who, but his ticket on the floor, $1,800.
No.
He spent $1,800. And that was pre-sale. And then after this...
Is your friend Mark Cuban? Because that's the only person who should be spending that kind of money on a concert.
I was like, mine was nowhere near
Unreal.
that. But, okay, so confetti moments, and for some reason, I didn't even think about it. I watched so many TikToks about the show, kind of trying, so I would know what was going to happen.
Why don't you, it's so interesting, like, you don't want to be, like, surprised?
I don't. Some things I do and some things I don't. Like, there was, like, a couple of merch things that they were giving out free, which I ended up not even finding or getting, but I wouldn't have known about them without TikTok. Some things I do want to know about. It's like when I went and saw Hamilton. I regret not having, watched it many times beforehand because I did not know what was going on. And, like, during a concert, I'll pull up the set list from the show before so I know when the songs I like are coming up because I like to record them. So I was not in the confetti zone. But I did know that there was one confetti moment, and I wanted some of that confetti, and it happened, and it was only in the middle of the stage, very small area. And then there was a second confetti moment that I did not know was going to happen, and by the end of the show, that had a few pieces had flittered over my way, and I got those, but it was really boring.
In the breeze of somebody waving their cowboy hat.
Yeah, exactly.
A few, they traveled.
I picked up a piece off the ground, and the girl next to me was like, "Oh, I collect confetti." She's like, "Well, take some off her hat." And I looked up, and this woman had it all over her hat.
That is what you need to start wearing, giant sombreros,
like an upside down umbrella.
Yes,
that is not a bad
genius.
Idea. So I got that boring confetti. That's just a dumb little rectangle. But there was really prized confetti that I wanted. So the show ends, and I'm like, oh, and I also wanted this cup, which I didn't want to pay for because the drink in this was like $15. So luckily someone had just left one behind, so I got one of these. And I washed it, and it's a different straw. Okay. But yes, I wanted a little cowboy cup. So I got that. So I'm leaving. And it's like
You're collecting free cups all over town.
Girl, I have problems. I'm going to have to get another storage unit. So I am leaving. And, I was at the top of the 100. So there's 20 rows in front of me. And when a concert's over, everyone leaves. And I was leaving, and I went down, and I found this cup, and it's like, okay, I'm good to go. And then I remembered that confetti, and I was like, I want a piece of that confetti. I gotta have it, but you cannot get down on the floor. So I was like, should I do it? And everyone's coming towards me up the stairs, and I was literally I said it out loud, it was so dramatic. It's like, I'm gonna try to do the impossible.
So you knocked out a security guard. You wore his clothes. You pretended to be a janitor.
I made a sign that was confetti master.
Confetti inspector.
Beyoncé Cowboy Carter tour. No, I just started going down the stairs and having to do a million oh, sorry, excuse me, just going to scooch by. Squeak, squeak, squeak. One fish going downstream with 2 million fish coming upstream.
Unbelievable.
Until I get down to the ledge where now I can just see the stage. I can see the ground and everything. And right when I get there, there's a security guard trying to throw up one piece of confetti to this girl that was doing the exact same thing I was.
Locked eyes, love at first sight.
Love at first sight. I'm straight now. We're dating. And she manages to get it. And I was like, oh, is there any way you can get one more? One more for me. Just one more.
How do you throw a piece of confetti?
It was a big piece. The confetti.
Is what, heavy?
The confetti is large, and he had to ball it up.
Okay.
And he had to throw it up probably...
Isn't it like tissue paper?
You'll see.
Okay.
It had to throw it up about 5 feet. And I was like, can you just get me one more? And he's like, that's the only one I saw, man. Sorry. And there was another woman. I was like, I'm just looking for a piece of confetti. She's like, I don't, then they just started, they do not want any part of you.
They're ready to move on.
I spend the next, and if you say this is why you're tired, I'm not tired. Today I'm kind of tired, but not because of that. I spend the next 15 minutes just kind of and hovering around, trying to I was literally trying to make contact eyes with anyone. Yeah. Finally got one girl, got her to go and look, and she picked up one of the dumb pieces. I'm like, no, the other. And she's like, I don't. And so
so there's special, 1 out of every 50 pieces of confetti is special.
That's on the ground at this point. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So then I walk all the way down to the other end, and I know my time is running out, and I see this woman. I was like, please. I was like, I'm just trying to get one piece of confetti. And then her friend walks up. She's got like 4 pieces in her hand. She's like like waving them like a fan. Like, she's like, oh, you can have some of my confetti for some money. And I was like, what? And I don't know if she was joking. And I was like, girl, I spent X amount on my ticket, X amount of merch. I just want one piece of confetti. And she's like, I could see she was debating it. So then she she asked someone, like she just wouldn't just be like, sure, here. She felt like she had to get permission.
Oh my
So
God.
then her boss comes up and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, she's trying to get me a piece of confetti. I just want one piece of confetti. He's like, no. He's like, you can't have confetti. I'm like, you're just going to throw it away. He's like, exactly. He's like, you have to go. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay.
I will see you by the dumpster, good sir.
I'll see you in court.
You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
very
did my
much.
last show, but I spent this much and blah, blah, blah. And I just want one piece of trash.
Yeah.
And he's like, go.
Because
and
if you had a seat where you were down there, you could have gotten armfuls, right?
I
Like the
would've had
people who were there could have just scooped it in by the armful off the floor,
Do you
right?
remember Lady Gaga?
Yes.
I had 3,500 Lady Gaga dollars.
That's right. So like,
Yes,
why is he acting like he wants to like keep the market scarce on Beyonce? Like, it's supposed to go in the trash so that you don't resell it?
I don't know what happened to that soul
Yeah.
and how they ended up at a Beyonce
You're in
concert.
the wrong
You're
business.
in the wrong place.
Yes.
So then I think that kind of just like bothered the woman that was going to help me. So she's like made a thing like walk this way. So she's down on the ground. I'm 15 feet above her, and we're both just start walking away from her boss. And I have to walk all the way to the right anyway to get back up and out.
Yeah.
So we just keep walking, and we walked for like a minute. And then I realized she was going to her exit, and she had the confetti, and we got to the thing, and I heard someone behind me like, sir, you have to go this way, because I had passed like the stairs for me to get out, and I just ignored them. And then the lady looked up, and I was like, just throw them. And she like crinkled them up, and like she was like scared to throw them, and then she's like, phew, and they were like, and landed on the ledge right in front of me, and I now have 2 Beyonce bucks that I would not have had otherwise. She's on the front. Now I can frame them like this, the front and back. It's everything I wanted.
Oh, wow.
And it was really exciting.
Everyone does the cash thing?
Someone was like, it's so original. I'm like, girl, Lady Gaga did it like 3 years ago. But now I have a collection of celebrity money. And you can't see it.
You
It's
know,
very
with
cool.
the way the economy is going, this might become more valuable than the U.S. dollar.
It really might. It might.
certainly
and
more
it's got her
rare.
signature on it, and her the code is her birthday.
You're going to be buying eggs with those things
Girl,
in
we
good
have
time.
2 Beyonce bucks.
That
So,
is wild.
all I'm going to say is, when you think something's impossible, for you it probably is. For me, I'll get it.
I stand by that. This is why you're tired. That's a really you do a lot. You do a lot. You take it to places most people won't take it.
Well, I'm doing all of that. You're here watching Survivor.
I did watch Survivor last night. This season is really good, but there's no villain. It's a lot of like honorable figures, and I prefer this cast to some casts in previous years, but I'm like, it's a far cry from, I don't know if you know any of these people are. Tony, Sandra.
Sandra's in it?
Babe, you don't know who Sandra is.
I actually do know Sandra.
Sandra
She
won
won twice.
She's
See?
like completely like, it's all about betrayal, chaos. Like, of course, you'll swear on your grandma's life, and then you'll stab someone in the back. Like,
How on earth does someone let someone win a second time?
I don't know.
Cut their throat on day one. That is some impressive play.
She's like legendary. She's legendary.
I know I keep telling you need to watch $1 Million Secret. It's a
Yeah,
Netflix
I
show
do
that I
wanna try
watched. It's
that.
like 7 parts. There's one moment in it where I'm like, wow, like that person, it's like one of the smartest things I've seen anyone do on a reality show.
That's awesome.
And
I
it
love
really,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I loved Traders. I love that. Yeah, I haven't heard too much of our listeners, how many of them listen to Survivor or watch Survivor, but I would love to talk more Survivor, maybe in the Discord.
We could make a Survivor.
We should make
room.
a Survivor channel. Well, how do you feel about Mr. Clean? Would you him?
Hey, that's off brand. Would I make love with Mr. Clean?
Yeah. Would you marry him?
I feel like, wasn't he?
He was in our
we-
Marry Kill.
Babe, this is the wrong show.
You can bleep it.
Bleep it. Okay. Mr. Clean. He's not on brand for me, like, dating-wise. He kind of, I don't know. I don't like...
You like hairy guys.
I like hairy guys.
He does have bushy white eyebrows.
I don't like that at all. That's like kissing Santa. Like, when we're kissing, I'll be like, Santa?
He came.
He came. I don't mind bald, but there's something about shiny bald that, I don't know, I find shocking. And I think he's shiny bald.
Yeah, he is very shiny.
He's really tall. I feel like he has smooth legs. He's too muscular.
Yeah.
I like 5'10", hairy, video game nerd.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
They don't have to be that clean.
He's too clean.
He's too clean.
You prefer a less clean man.
Not physically, but I don't need him going around like, oh, I see you use the light switch today. And he's like, squeak, squeak, cleaning it up. I need it to be a little dirty.
Following you around with the magic eraser.
Yeah, he would be, like Alistair, be very disappointed in me.
we want a little bit more of a pig pen.
Yeah.
Pig pen in the sheets.
Not on brand. And I feel like he looks like another icon, but maybe I'm getting him. I feel like there's another
Daddy Warbucks.
Maybe
he's been thought of as looking like Daddy Warbucks, the king from The King and I.
Okay. I'm excited to see where he came from.
Yeah, let's dig into it. So first, let's talk about kind of where the world of marketing and product development was in the 1950s, because this really is one of those products that was created during a specific time in advertising and where consumerism culture was at. So this was considered to be the golden age of marketing. We have our Mad Men era, we'll say.
You're Peggy, I'm Don.
That's right. So it was because of the aggressive use of post-war manufacturers for research and development to find new and highly useful consumer products. And then with that coinciding with the emergence of television, savvy advertising, it just became a big mass marketing tool. It was the time where, there's a few channels. Everybody's watching the same thing. Those slots for advertising were really, really expensive. So companies had to do a lot of market research to find out, well, what are we going to put our bucks into to promote? We have a really expensive time slot. We don't want to waste it. So during that time, there's a lot of brands that have now been around forever that came out of that era in the 1950s because, as I said, World War II, they had television, a few channels, everyone's exposed to the same thing. It's completely different than the media prior, which was radio and newspapers. So the products are doing things that no products could do before. So it wasn't how do we find a new version of this product, or can we market test something that already exists? They were using market research to find new inventions, basically. Disposable diapers came out of market research. They didn't know that was even something that the consumer base would want. It was through market research that they were what should we invent? Where is the consumer need? Which I thought was really interesting. It served a totally different purpose back then.
Have you ever done, I have done market research.
Yeah, I feel we talked about that a little bit before. I loved market research. I think it's one of the few ways these days you can make your voice heard.
I also feel it's somewhat bullshit, though, because I know there was some market research I did where, if I wasn't that invested, I'd be meh. And I'm if they're listening to my opinion, they shouldn't, because I don't care that much.
Sometimes you fudge a little bit, and about how much you care about. I did one a few weeks ago for
You just did one a few weeks ago?
I did one a few weeks ago.
You just did a market research a few weeks ago?
Well, now they make it really easy because you do it through an app. So you'll fill out a questionnaire and then
you joined an app to do market research?
Yeah, they send you $50.
Why wouldn't you have told me? This is the butter. Why don't you share these things with me? You're trying to keep me down.
No, because I'm it's for a specific, it's moms who, yes, check.
Yes, I got it.
Who look for
Beyonce bucks.
Who have Beyonce bucks. It was specifically healthy versions of not so healthy snacks. You know what I mean? So it was it was a grain-free puff or something like that. So when you always way overstate how passionate you are about grain-free puffs.
So you got $50 for lying about liking this puff?
Yeah. I didn't get to try it. It was just you're giving me feedback on the packaging and stuff like that.
What? There has to be gay boy ones.
If I see one for a gay boy, I'll let you
Please
know.
do.
Of course I will. Of course I will.
I need money.
So during that time, you need money. Yeah, you do with these concerts.
Yeah, tell me about it. I need money.
In the 1950s, specifically, cleaning companies, there's a lot of products that came out of that era that we still know by name today, like Joy, Cheer, Dove, Dial, Comet. Those were all 1950s early TV marketing products.
You know who's big on cleaning products?
Who?
Cincinnati.
Procter & Gamble.
Procter & Gamble is the bread and butter of that city, or
the company who would go on to buy
Mr. Clean. God, every show has something to do with Cincinnati.
It really does. Like,
Yeah.
if you're an inventor and you just feel like that's what you were born to do, even if you don't have any ideas, go to Cincinnati, stay there for 6 months, and something will pop in your head.
And I'm sure I've told you it's nicknamed the Queen City.
Yeah, and you're the queen, baby.
Yes, Queen.
So in the mid-1950s, there was a small company from Massachusetts that was making millions selling something that nobody had ever thought to market on TV ads, which was liquid detergent. So they're using detergent to mean just like kind of an all-purpose soapy cleaner. This was something that people didn't think you really had to attach a brand to, but this company was doing very well. It was called Lestoil.
That's very familiar.
Not a great name, but a very successful company. And then seeing money to be made, the giant companies like Colgate-Palmolive and Procter & Gamble set researchers to work developing their own TV ad-ready liquid detergent. It's like they knew they needed the ad, and so they came up with a product. It's very like Ninja Turtles. Like, we need the toy, and then like we'll do the show. It's like we need the ad, and then we'll come up with a product next.
Love it.
So meanwhile, a man named Linwood Burton, he had a business cleaning marine ships.
Okay.
He's a boat scrubber.
I love it.
And he has accounts. She's cleaning ships all throughout the east coast of the United States. And in the past, ships had to be cleaned using very harsh abrasives and solvents that could cut through like the barnacles, the tentacles. I don't know what's stuck on ships. But the solvents were very dangerous to workers. You know, they're getting like burnt to a crisp.
Their hands are gone.
They're gone. They're down to the
Remove their hands, just
stubs.
stubs.
They're down to the stubs. And so he tried to develop, because he has some like chemistry, science knowledge. He tried to develop a cleanser for the boats that was less dangerous, but still quite effective. So he created this cleaner that fit the bill. He also happened to have, by the way, we need one of these, a rich entrepreneur friend from Sri Lanka named Mathusan Chandramohan, which is like, where's ours?
I'll
we
have
need
what
one.
he's having. Take us there.
They connect with Procter & Gamble in Cincy, the Queen City, and they start to develop their product line with Procter & Gamble in 1957. Procter & Gamble, they love the product, but they needed a brand. You can't just sell barnacle scrubber in a bottle and put it on the shelves. No, they needed a whole identity.
And this is what, did you watch Mad Men? This
Yes.
is what I loved Mad Men,
Very
because
cool.
I really felt like you were getting like a TED talk on how marketing worked back then.
It's a
They
real
did
peek behind the curtain.
Such a good job.
Yeah. I watched the first like 2 or 3 seasons. We went to a Mad Men themed,
Christmas party?
Mad Men themed election party in 2008 when Obama won.
Wait, did I go?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Was
Yeah.
that at Cassidy's?
It was.
Oh my God, that was at
There's a
Michael
picture
Cassidy's house.
of you, me, and Harris, I think.
Who wrote our theme song.
Yeah.
That's who had that party.
Yeah, very fun. And so that really, but 2008, Obama being elected and Mad Men is just like, those two are 2 halves of the same coin. That tells you everything you know about 2008.
Yeah, what a time, man.
You're going to a Mad Men theme, like everyone's dressing up in their pencil skirts and they're drawing on little mustaches.
Drinking a scotch.
It was a simpler time.
Oh my God.
It was a simpler time. So Procter & Gamble, they love the product. They need a brand. So they meet with Tatham Laird, which is an advertising agency, with their liquid cleaner. They're like, what are you going to do for us? Tatham Laird came up with a list of possible names for the new cleaner, and they asked groups of consumers which one was the most appealing. Okay. Do you want to know what won? It wasn't Mr. Clean.
Yeah, I would love to know. Oh boy, it's bad. I can tell.
Town Talk. Town.
That's it?
Town Talk.
Town Talk, not Town Talk soap?
Town Talk.
That's it? You stop talking. I keep thinking you're going to say one more word.
That's it.
Town Talk? Hey, while you're out, you're going to get milk, eggs, and Town Talk. What the hell is Town Talk?
I cannot for the life of me understand.
Wait, were you reading this from a book and were the 2 pages stuck together?
No. I don't know why that won. Nobody knows why. Somebody said
Town Talk?
the guy who worked on this campaign, he says he doesn't remember how Town Talk even got on the list.
Oh my gosh.
He says he thinks some fellow admin were toying with an ad campaign based on the cleaner being the talk of the town. But even if you were describing something as the talk of the town,
Town Talk doesn't even reflect that.
it doesn't. It would be a great name for a podcast.
Town Talk. with Marissa and Jon.
We might have to spin off on Town Talk where we just talk about Nextdoor. I think what's on our Nextdoor feed.
I actually love Town Talk. We only talk about Nextdoor and our Buy Nothing communities.
Actually, that might be, maybe we'll do that as like a little bonus mini-sode on the Patreon. We'll do spin-offs of
4
Town Talk.
episodes a year of Town Talk.
That's what your Patreon subscription will get you. Wild. So even though the focus group selected Town Talk as their favorite name, the executives vetoed it.
Oh, good.
And they
were smart
chose
enough.
the second most popular name, which was Mr. Clean.
Wow, those could not be further apart.
One is so evocative. It has like a character attached to it. It's like, who would the mascot be of Town Talk?
Wait, did Mr. Clean already exist? Like, did the bald cartoon already exist?
No, just a name, Mr.
Just
Clean.
Mr. Clean?
Mr.
That
Clean.
seems kind of bold, not having a character.
No, they started with the name.
They started with Mr. Man, everything about this is backwards.
I know, right? If it wasn't Town Talk, if it wasn't Mr. Clean, like how would you have started with the character first and then had the name Town Talk as like the mascot, like
Yeah, what is the
like
mascot
a
for
church on top of a hill? Like what is it?
Clean?
What is it?
And what's it cleaning? Do you have a tiny little town coming into your house to clean? That's kind of cute. You have like the shopkeeper and the candy store man.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
like a little army.
Yeah.
My town team is here to help me clean.
The name is not Town Team. The name is Town Talk.
Now get to talking, and they start whispering while they clean. I don't know. It's very convoluted.
This week on Town Talk, somebody's trying to sell a used pair of Nikes for $40.
You know, I've only
Ay.
posted, I think, on Nextdoor once because someone stole a large rose crystal off my porch.
And you were asking if anybody knew of any leads.
Has anyone you know recently fallen in love because they've taken my rose quartz, which I got to fall in love? No, because a few things were stolen off my porch, and a couple of them showed up like in the street, like in the neighborhood. And so I was like, this was also taken, if anyone sees it.
Yeah.
And then like within like 5 posts, it turned into like
People arguing about raccoons.
coyotes.
Yes.
They were mad about coyotes. I'm like, what does this have to do with coyotes? And I
Yes.
think someone was like, they probably needed it more than you. I'm like, oh my God, that was my one and only time on
Nextdoor to me is 100%. There's a skunk in my house. What can I do? And people being like, the skunk has every right to be there. Move. We're on their land. And you're like, what is happening?
And like post 8, it's like, my cousin has a moving service. It's $24 if you need help moving your stuff out of there. The skunk owns that house.
Yeah.
now.
Or somebody will be like, does anybody have a good dentist recommendation in the area? And people are just like, no.
No.
To comment to say no. I mean, that is okay, that is your documentary. Find all of the people who comment to say, I don't know. Track them down, sit them in a chair for 30 minutes. I guarantee there's something interesting there.
Oh my
What is wrong with
gosh.
those people?
What is up with those people?
Okay, so it's not Talk of the Town, it's Mr. Clean.
All right, I'm on board.
So now we have the name. We need to now come up with the idea for who Mr. Clean is. So the original model for Mr. Clean was they had a photo of a United States Navy sailor. That's kind of hot, Navy sailor.
I mean, at the time, it's very appropriate.
A seaman.
A seaman. They should have named him that.
Mr. Seaman.
Sticky Seaman. Mr. Seaman.
Mr. Seaman makes your own.
Now that I could fall asleep to. Mr. Seaman.
They had a picture of a sailor from Pensacola, Florida. He was in a little sailor, like a tight white t-shirt, and he had a little sailor hat.
Pensacola?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you know about Pensacola?
I think I've been near there. I've been to...
I think I've been near. Cool. Cool story.
I've been to Destin, Florida.
I think I've been near there.
How far is Destin, Florida to Pensacola? Let's see.
If you
It's an hour and 18 minutes. It's not
Okay, cool. So they had a photo from a sailor from the city of Pensacola, Florida, a city you have been.
Wait, did you say Pensacola?
Yes.
Oh my God, I've been like an hour and 18 minutes from there when I was younger.
Wait, I want to know how far I've been from Pensacola because I've been to 2 cities in Florida. Hang on.
We went to Destin, Florida for spring break when I was younger. Very clean beaches.
Okay, I've been 627 miles from Pensacola.
Wow, it's like this story is like our lives.
Write to us and tell us how far you've been from Pensacola.
Or how far you are from Pensacola now.
I would love, maybe, are you in Pensacola now? That would actually be really huge. So it was a sailor. That was kind of their initial inspiration. And they were playing with some slogans that were like, get your house battleship clean. I think maybe they were influenced by the origin story of the product that it was like to scrub ships.
That has definitely fallen away because I do not associate Mr. Clean with ships at all.
Certainly not.
Or seamen.
Certainly not. So Ernest C. Allen, he was the art department at the ad agency Tatham Laird in Chicago, and he drew Mr. Clean as a muscular, tanned, bald man who cleans things very well.
It sounds like he was a homo with daddy issues.
This guy could really polish your knob, if you know what I mean.
This guy pitches the same muscular bald man for every mascot.
Cat food.
They're like, we have this new puff cereal. I got it. He just draws this muscular bald man. Mr. Puff.
Cadden kind of created a little story for this guy, which I guess is just his like erotic fiction. He was supposed to be a has-been adventurer, a good guy who had been everywhere, seen everything.
Slightly curious.
He has long stations at the port, and he's really misses his gal back home.
Mm-hmm. They all did in the 50s.
They all did.
They all had a gal back home.
He was an all-time cleaning champ, and when they asked people after the ads came out, a lot of people didn't realize he was supposed to be a sailor, just based on the white T-shirt.
Yeah,
and the bald, no sailor hat to be seen. He's just a guy in a t-shirt. They thought he was some kind of genie. And one of the live action commercials has a character directly refer to Mr. Clean as a genie, even though they all claim that he wasn't supposed to be a genie. Everyone's like, no, he was a genie, and everybody said he was a genie.
One of the official commercials does?
Yes, one of the official commercials. Somebody goes like, wow, you're a real genie.
Yeah, I'm looking at vintage Mr. Clean right now. There is literally no way to know it's a sailor.
There's not a drop of sailor. I don't know why keep the hat.
I don't know, man.
He's got that big gold earring. Is that like a sailor thing? He originally had a nose ring, and then they made it an earring.
He's kind of intimidating looking.
There was one commercial where he was mean.
Mr. Mean, Mr. Mean. He's too muscular.
Yeah.
And on some of them, he's really tan. And he's just like a guy in really tight clothes.
He's quite the gay icon.
He's like a WeHo icon.
Do you think at Pride, there has to be people who cosplay as Mr. Clean?
I've never seen it, but I mean, there should be.
Okay, well, you'll find out this year in June. We need to go on a Mr. Clean hunt.
I don't have any interest in really hunting this down. I'm
don't?
sure this does feel like a whole subset of the gay community, though. You have bears, you have
Mr. Clean
otters,
play.
you have polar bears, you have Mr. Cleans.
There's no other way to describe like a shiny, hairless, bald, muscular.
I think it's the thick white eyebrows for me.
The thick white eyebrows. Yeah, there's a lot that's great about it. So their inspiration was kind of like he is the housewife's helper. He's taking on her toughest cleaning chores. He's like, which is interesting, a product that's like marketed towards women and housewives, that it's like, I don't know, this like big strong man, because like it's women who are doing all the cleaning at home. So why is like the expert a boy?
And that I don't feel like this is even the only one that did that, because I feel like didn't like paper towels,
like Bounty paper towels as the lumberjack.
Yeah, there was like a whole Simpsons spoof on that, where like Marge fell in love with like the paper towel mascot. Man.
We'll have to do Bounty at some point too.
That'll be you.
Procter & Gamble, I'll do that. Procter & Gamble has an origin story of Mr. Clean, which they're having a lot of fun with. They want to create a little canon history of him. I won't read the whole thing. It's quite long and very silly. It was early one summer morning when a farmer set out to tend his field, as he's done every morning for more years than he could remember. But this wouldn't be just another morning, because it was on this morning that he looked down to find, cleaning his front steps, a small, sturdy baby with a remarkably shiny bald head. He was the cutest, cleanest baby the farmer and his wife had ever seen, and they decided to adopt the little guy as their own. So they're creating kind of like a baby Jesus origin story for Mr. Clean.
Or Superman, which was also popular at the time.
So maybe that's it, yeah. But so that's on their website. It goes on to talk about how, he became the face of a cleaning company. He's the hardest working cleaner in history. As a advertising mnemonic device, it is very effective because it stands as both the name and the symbol of the product. So when you're thinking of Mr. Clean, you can't separate the name of the product and the mascot in your mind. Like if you see him, it's Mr. Clean. If you hear the words Mr. Clean, you immediately see this guy. There was nobody else like him on the shelves. And it was very effective marketing.
You know who was similar to that? I don't know when they came out. Jolly Green Giant.
Jolly Green Giant, totally, yes.
You also could not separate them, and I could see those two building a life together.
Absolutely. I think they're living very happily on the Upper West Side of New York.
Until along came Scrub Daddy and broke up the marriage. Yeah.
Maybe, unless they're a throuple. So Thomas Scott Cadden wrote the jingle for Mr. Clean, and I'll play some of that here. It's quite a long song at 1:44, but we'll just give you a little taste, something to hum in bed tonight.
1:44.
Here we go.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall tires, and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean.
Okay, you get it.
My God, how could that not be techno versioned into like some club beat in WeHo? Like it's just like screaming for it.
There's got to be Mr. Clean night at the Abbey where everyone dresses up like Mr. Clean and they like bump and grind to an EDM version of the Mr. Clean jingle.
I don't know if you did any research on this, but what also came up, I'm looking at vintage Mr. Cleans right now. I had forgotten about this mascot, which seems like somehow it's tied together with this. Like maybe someone was like, you have Mr. Clean, we have Mr. Bubble. Have you seen Mr. Bubble?
The little bubble guy?
He's just like a big pink bubble.
blob, yeah.
So I wonder if there's some like, people are like, people don't want a bald man, they want a pink bubble.
And they want Mr. and then just like whatever the product does.
Yeah.
Which is very helpful.
Exactly.
Mr. Toilet. Like, it's like, okay, cleans toilets.
Mr. Flush.
So Thomas Scott Cadden, he wrote dozens of jingles for products like Head & Shoulders shampoo, Bold detergent, Libby's Sloppy Joes.
Oh, I think I'm about to go on another Sloppy Joe binge.
No, why?
Because I found a can that I haven't used yet.
Okay. Are there any binges you haven't told us about? You had any secret, like, Sloppy Joe kicks?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm always on a binge. Like that's just
what are you into now?
Beets. I think I mentioned that last week. I went on a beet binge. I bought beets 3 times at Trader Joe's. I keep making beet salads.
Wait, like the pre-cooked ones?
The ones that are already they're like
refrigerated
vacuum
in a
sealed.
bag.
Yes.
Okay.
So you get like 6 beets in there. You really only. My first mistake the first time was like I'm
forgetting that
beets.
you ate beets and then going to the potty and looking in the toilet and thinking you were dying.
No. Eating, preparing 3.
Oh.
Beets go a long way. I only needed 1 beet for the whole salad.
Yes.
And sometimes now I'll do like a plate. I'll dice up a beet. I'll sprinkle on some feta cheese. I'll drizzle some olive oil, some flaky salt, maybe a little chili oil, and just eat that. Like I don't know, I'm in this beet cheese phase.
The first time I had a beet and goat cheese salad, it was probably the same time everybody did. 2010.
10 years after sun-dried tomatoes had fallen away.
It was time for beets to slot right in as the new salad darling. And
10
I was
years
like...
before cauliflower made its debut.
Yes, exactly. It was in between sun-dried tomatoes and cauliflower beets. Beets, the combo beets, goat cheese, or feta is similar to like a salty
I didn't know which one
cheese.
you're supposed to do. And I went to Trader Joe's. I was like, am I supposed to do beets with feta cheese or goat? And the girl was like, both are great.
Both are great. Yeah, I mean, a little boursin, it all would be good. Like a kind of like, creamy, salty. The first time I had it, it like... knocked my socks off. Also, I had just been on a very treacherous horseback ride, so I was grateful to be alive.
Okay, and so anything would have tasted good
anything,
at that point.
Nothing will taste better than after your life flashes before your eyes.
That's
on a
the
horse.
best time to try something that you may not like that much, is right after a life-changing event.
I had this really puts that in when it was too, is because I had a Groupon for horseback riding at a winery.
Talk about something that put you right in 2008.
Like, oh my God. Obama, Mad Men.
Mad Men, Groupon, horseback riding. Every Groupon was like, I have thought about doing that thing once. And horseback riding fits into that so perfectly.
So much. Like horseback riding in a winery. And nothing, I mean, I'm sure Groupon still exists. Honestly, I think it's time for a comeback because I think people are really looking to like have some dang fun and like find a low cost way to just like shake it up and enjoy their life. And Groupon was really, it would be like, maybe I do want to try goat yoga. That sounds fun.
I don't want.
It's like $29.
It's normally $89.
I mean, write whatever price you want and slash it and then just say it's $29 and I'll buy it.
Exactly. I gotta say, I've never wanted a goat clip-clopping on my back. It seems painful.
Well, and like, you've seen how goats poop. A bunch of little balls.
I'm not nearly as obsessed with that as
I'm just saying that's got to be like part of it because
you brought it up twice in 5 minutes.
If you are at a place where you pet goats, which I am often, it's impossible to avoid. And if you have a goat standing on your back while you're in a downward dog.
Is that how they poo? Do they shoot it out like a rocket?
A lot of little tiny balls.
Oh, that's like a rabbit.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rabbit.
That's cute.
We went horseback riding in this winery, and the first thing they said, I was like, I've never been on a horse before. They were like, great, no problem. Groupon, they're never going to be like, the waiver you sign, Groupon, they know you're only doing this once. You know what I mean? Like,
and 90% of the people won't do it.
There's no retention for a Groupon. It's like, I drove an hour and a half to do this like wine thing. It's like, they could kill me. And it's like, I'll never be back. They'll never see me again. We're going through this winery, and I'm with David, and they're saying, the horses are really going to want to eat the grapes. Don't let them. And I'm like, I don't know anything about horses. Like, you think I can like,
Stop
they have to respect you. This is what they're telling me. Like, you have to, with your energy, like, just kind of command your respect, like their respect. Like, if they don't respect you, they're going to eat the grapes. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't respect me, so they're eating the grapes.
You have to curve your fingers because they'll chomp your fingers off. I get so scared of them chomping my fingers.
So we're riding these horses through this winery. Of course, the horses are eating the grapes.
They're not supposed to.
The like boss is turning back. Boss is turning back around. He's like, stop letting them eat the grapes. And we're like, we're trying.
Why do you even have the grapes?
My legs are done. I'm like clenched so hard on this like horse because I'm so scared that it's gonna like take off and kill me. We're walking through, we trot, and it's like, it's moments of fun. It's thrilling, which always feels exhilarating. It always feels like, you feel alive when you're doing things that are kind of scary like that. As we're leaving, as soon as the horse, they didn't tell us this, as soon as the horse like knows you're heading back, like you're at the end.
They run.
No. They run.
I'd be so scared.
So scary. And a car had just come by, like a big truck going down the lane. So David's horse like bucked and like reared up, and his glasses fell off, and like.
The horse was wearing glasses?
The horse's glasses off, so the horse is running, can't see a lick.
Can't see anything.
Can't see anything. So it was wild on like every parameter. The horses did eat a lot of grapes that day. And then I had a beet goat cheese salad, and I was like, life tastes good. Wow. I am back on solid ground. I'm safe. I'm alive. And I love beets.
The whole point of that story was beets are good.
Beets
I think my beet face is winding down, but that story made me realize I never used my cheeseburger Groupon from like 15 years ago, and I wonder if it's still good.
They expire.
It was for a cheeseburger in like Whittier, where instead of buns,
if you don't know, in LA, that is quite far to drive for a Groupon burger.
I know, it's so dumb. But instead of buns, they use grilled cheese sandwiches. So it's like two grilled cheese sandwiches with a hamburger in between them.
That place has closed.
Yeah, there's no way
they're
that
not still
exists.
there.
There's no way.
You can't roll up there with your dusty, crusty Groupon.
I'm gonna call Groupon and see if I can get a credit.
Oh, I meant to say he also wrote the jingle for Alka-Seltzer.
Okay.
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz.
5 times.
Oh, what a relief. That's not poop.
I know, but I feel like you want it to be.
No, I didn't.
You
plop, plop,
like
fizz,
looked at me
fizz.
like plop, plop.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Alka-Seltzer, man, that was one of those things as a kid.
Only for dads.
It's like... there was a few times that we had to take it, and I dreaded it. I loved the plop, plop, and I loved the fizz, fizz, but drinking that stuff was so bad.
I would never drink Alka-Seltzer, though the rumor was that you could use it to clean your retainer, so I would use it for that. That was the rumor.
Hey, come here. How have you heard this? You know how your retainer's really dirty?
And really stinky.
And your parents, go into your parents' bathroom. Here's what you're gonna look for. I'm gonna text you a pic.
Text.
Oh yeah.
So
print out a JPEG.
I'm gonna email you. I'm gonna print out a print. Go to the library. Borrow the copy machine. Okay.
I will say, I know we go off topic too much, but I do love learning. I love like character actors or jingle writers or people when I'm like, oh, they did these 9 things that are so not related to each other over a course of 20 years, and they're all things I like, and I never would have connected those dots. So cool.
And what I'll do now is if I find like one of these ad agencies that's like referenced in some of these episodes, you'll look at this ad agency and you'll go, oh my God, the people who made Mr. Clean, they had also, I couldn't find anything really from this one, but like sometimes you'll see like the same guy who worked on that campaign also created these like 5 other things that like were legendary and that we still reference today. It's really fun.
Yeah, you'll be like, wait, Charlie the Tuna's also the voice of Yogi Bear? How he lived in the ocean and the forest? That's insane.
Picnic baskets.
Picnic.
So for him, he regards creating the Mr. Clean jingle as a high watermark of his career. He has since passed away, but this was like the thing that put him on the map. So he did like interviews and stuff, and they would show his studio where he still created music like just for fun, but it was so much Mr. Clean memorabilia, which is so fun. And he was so proud of this, like being part of his legacy. After he wrote the song, the Mr. Clean jingle, his colleagues thought it sucked.
And they were jealous.
They were
jealous. That is such a colleague thing to
right?
do. Oh, God, that sucked. Mr. Clean, okay.
Like, I don't even think you should, like, show that to the boss.
We'll be at Spaghetti Factory while you try to write a new lyric.
He pushed through and he showed it to the executives. Procter & Gamble loved it. And the singer Don Cherry was hired to sing in the commercials. The commercials were test marketed in Pittsburgh. This was I thought was really cute. So for commercials to test their effectiveness, they would put them out in a market and they would do a day after recall test. So they would call people on the phone asking them what commercials they remembered viewing from the night before.
Oh, wow.
How fun is that? So they could be like, John, last night did you watch any TV? It's like, of course. Okay, well, what commercials, if any, stuck in your mind? The Mr. Clean song had such good recognition, and so many people said they remembered it from the night before. So it was already like on the map as being a surefire hit.
You know what's crazy? They still do that today because on occasion, maybe once a month from TikTok, I'll like scroll past something and I'll get a pop-up that's like, do you remember seeing a commercial for Alka-Seltzer in the last day? And I'm like, no, bitch, because I'm scrolling so fast.
Wow.
But they're trying to see what commercials you're
like stuck in your mind. Yeah. Wow, I love that modern version.
Yeah.
August 11th, 1958, the TV ads roll out across the country. They sent out print ads. The jingle is a hit. He had a live action portrayal by character actor House Peters Jr. I'm sure my mom knows who that is. And this marketing professor at Loyola University says that the advertising for Mr. Clean was just perfect for that period of time. America had moved to the suburbs. Young wives were left isolated at home, often far from their mothers-in-law, siblings, aunts, the people who would kind of like advise them on how to run a household. So Mr. Clean appears, and he's this kind of like exotic but non-threatening, sexual but also kind of like pure sort of character who's very strong and can advise them and help them like they were in good hands. As a name, Mr. Clean gave people a good idea of what the product does, especially since it was a chemical cleaning agent that at some level is not easy to understand in the terms of like how or why it works. The cartoon figure is a nice way to anthropomorphize the product, like some other product figures Americans love so much, like the Jolly Green Giant and the Pillsbury Doughboy. Mm-hmm. So you're creating that connection in the consumer's mind that was very effective at the time.
We don't do that anymore. I don't feel like we create any of the brand, like Poppy doesn't have like Poppy the Pig.
No, or it's like that. I mean, all those mascots are cute. We've talked about this. The Pop-Tart mascot is the same as the Frosted Mini Wheat mascot. It's just a little guy, whatever the product is, with the arms and googly eyes. But nobody's like a completely new invented character. That seems like kind of rare. If we're missing one, let us know.
Yeah, a lot of things we don't do in marketing anymore. I was thinking that with cereal too. Like, when I was growing up, there was a good toy in your cereal.
And the mascot was like highly recognizable as a household name and featured a lot in the marketing. Like
Trix the Rabbit.
Trix the Rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Toucan
Yeah.
Sam.
Yes.
Captain Crunch.
I know.
Tony the Tiger.
What's going on? Maybe I just don't see those commercials as much anymore. But I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a missed opportunity. So worldwide, he is not called Mr. Clean. In most other countries, he is called Mr. Proper.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Which also works for Alistair. In 1962, they had a promotion to come up with Mr. Clean's first name. The winner would get either $30,000 in cash or $30,000 for a fully furnished house. Wow. Yeah. Fully furnished house for $30,000.
I guess you could furnish a house for $30,000.
In 1962.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what the winning name was?
Is it unusual or common?
It's stupid.
Rob. No, I have a brother Rob. I didn't mean like Rob's a dumb name.
Boston Rob.
Now Rob KT is going to get mad.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Rob.
Yeah, but Rob Clean, like what does that mean?
Steven. No, we have a Steven listener too. Is it John?
Veritably.
What?
I told you it was dumb. I told you.
Veritably.
Veritably Clean.
Veritably is the name?
The first name that won $30,000, which is a lot of money.
Veritably?
Veritably.
Who would submit that?
I don't know. It was a different time.
Veritably clean.
Veritably
I would've
clean.
picked Kevin Clean.
Dean Clean.
Dean Clean. Big Dean Clean.
Big shout out to Big Dean Clean.
We'll split.
Mr. Clean has always smiled, so maybe the picture you pulled up was it was a brief time in the Mean Clean era where he was Mean Mr. Clean for a series of ads where he was frowning because he hated dirt. Yeah, so he's like a strong silent type.
This is why I can't have him in my life. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
No, I was just going to say, you can't have him in your life?
He's too, if he's frowning at dirt,
Yeah.
he's going to be frowning. As soon as he's going to be whistling up to the door, and as soon as he opens it, frown.
They'll have to change his name to Mr. Frown.
Mr. Frown.
He is typically the strong silent type, but he did speak in some commercials when an actor, Mark Dano, was playing him in a suit and tie in the mid-'60s, kind of like that Mad Men era. He took off his white t-shirt and swapped it for a suit and tie. And then in modern day ads, he does speak to the housewives who want to have sex with him. In 2016, they did an updated reboot of the jingle. It is the longest running advertising jingle used in television history.
It already seemed like it would have been with the original. It was like 1:30.
Well, longest running as in like period of time.
Oh, length. Okay. Is it really? The longest
Yes.
is Mr. Clean?
Yes.
That shocks me.
It's shocking. Well, we like to give people these fun facts. These fun when you're at your, let's see, Mother's Day will have been on Sunday, so Mother's Day will have already passed. Okay,
Father's Day is coming up
when
next
you're
month.
at your Father's Day brunch,
Trivia night.
throw this out.
Daddy trivia, when they're like, what's the longest running, what is it, jingle?
Jingle.
And everyone's going to be like, oh, that's got to be like, what?
Fancy Feast.
Meow Mix.
Meow Mix, that's what I
Definitely
meant.
Meow Mix. Nope, you put Mr. Clean.
We have to talk about magic erasers.
Well, yeah. I was like, how is she getting there? When
How
are
do
we
you
getting
feel
there?
about magic erasers? Do you have them in your home?
I
Do you allow
don't.
them in your home?
I need more than that at this point. But I know that people really like them, and I hear they work great.
They do work great.
I feel like I have one that I got free, just like my scrub daddies.
Sure.
I only have these things because people give them to me.
Because you find them next to the dumpster.
Yeah.
So I don't know what BASF is. And I went to the website, no indication of what this acronym stands for, but it's something.
This seems like another story of where someone discovered a phone.
You are right. BASF. They're a company or a something, and they discovered that the foam that is used for soundproofing would also, it's like, I couldn't get like the specific of like the moment when it happened, but they were like, yeah, this company discovered that if you like rubbed the soundproofing on like a table with a scuff, like the scuff would come out.
I mean, it seems very logical. They were trying to soundproof this dirty studio to make a podcast.
And they're like trying to like push it
push
on the
it
walls.
up, and like
they're
there's a clean
"Whoa."
spot, and they're like, wait a minute.
Maybe. So the component of these magic erasers is melamine, which you maybe have known melamine. Like if you get like outdoor plates and things like that, or outdoor cups, like we have cups for the kids, they're made of melamine. It's not microwave safe, but it's like, I guess, I always thought it was like kind of environmentally friendly, but now I don't know. So for the magic erasers, they take this melamine resin, they whip it into a foam, and the result is an airy open cell construction that when dry, the cured resin is almost as hard as glass, which is what makes it so effective at getting stains off surfaces. It's essentially super, super, super fine sandpaper. So it's abrasion. So for things like crayons on walls, or I find it very useful for like cleaning a bathtub, things like that. It just removes the product. If you have like a delicate surface, like something that's like coated, like with a gloss, it could dull the sheen. So you have to do a little spot test on it. But a very effective product. It launched in 2003, and they have since sold billions.
Wow.
Billions. So it's another case. Somebody finding a foam.
When did it come out? Did you
2003.
say? 2003. Okay.
Yeah,
So they just had
2003.
their 20th anniversary.
Yeah, what'd you do to celebrate the anniversary of the Mr. Clean Magic
my
Eraser?
kitchen. Well, that's exciting. I like it when a legacy brand comes up with a new product
Sure.
and enters a new age with it.
Some people claim that you can find, if you just search like melamine foam, you can get them for much cheaper. The complaint about them is that they fall apart kind of easily. Some of their life hack people do, they'll cut them into pieces so they can just like, I guess, have more little pieces to clean with and then keep the sponge. It's like more bang for your buck, basically.
I mean, it's the same. I guess you get more surface area if you cut it.
Yes. And there is, not to end on a sad note, but a microplastics issue.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mr. Clean died. Now, I hate to end on a sad note, but in 2024, Mr. Clean was in a terrible car accident.
He was trying to clean his brake pedal. And
Ironically, no one was able to clean the stain he left on the road.
That would be a lot of magic erasers. Yes, there's a bit of a shedding microplastics issue. If that's something you're concerned about,
Is this a Hazinga?
it might be a Hazinga. Maybe, I mean, because they do fall apart and crumble, and that goes in the drain, or it goes, thousands, millions, billions, whatever number it is.
Can they fix it?
No, it cannot be fixed.
So what you're telling me is Mr. Clean is quite dirty. He'll clean on a macro level,
Yes.
but pollute on a global level.
His hands aren't so clean after all.
So this is a bad brand.
Yeah, he's a bad man.
Okay. He looks like a bad man. I'm not going to lie. He's not like this. Do you remember the Snuggle Bear?
Yeah,
like
he's
the
no
laundry
Snuggle.
detergent?
He's no Snuggle.
No, he's more like Gordon Fisherman, and he's just like a burly man.
Well, if you want to snuggle Mr. Clean, send us a letter. You out there in Radio Land?
We'll help make that happen. I'll dress up as Mr. Clean.
John, is Mr. Clean on brand for you?
That's honestly tough.
This is like the hardest
This is
decision you've had to make all day.
This is the hardest question I've been asked this week. I'm going to say no.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it is on brand for me. I've never bought it.
Okay.
After listening to this episode,
Yeah.
I have no new desire to buy it. You ended on a note that's bad for the world.
Yes.
I don't love the mascot.
Okay.
I hate white eyebrows.
Okay. But what about like an all-purpose liquid detergent?
I have some that are fine.
Okay.
Like I tend to use Mrs. Myers or Method. I'm fine with those. I feel like Mr. Clean doesn't have like fun scents, and even if they do, they'd probably also still smell medicine-y
Yeah.
or cleansery. So no, I'm just gonna stick with my gun and say no. Mr. Clean is a hard off brand for me. What about you?
I'm actually going to have to agree with you. The part that's on brand for me is the like 50s ad the meeting.
The
I'm into
history
the
stuff's
meeting.
great,
The
yeah.
meeting I would love. That's on brand for me.
Of
It's like
course.
the boards where they're like pitching and the jingle. I love all that. But in reality, I'm not going to get Mr. Clean. I don't like strongly scented cleaning products. There's like websites that will tell you like how poisonous things are in your house. Mr. Clean, I did check and it does have an F for the environmental working group as far as like this ingredient causes cancer. This one, makes your balls fall off. So things like that, I'm more likely to use like a Mrs. Myers or a Method or like a, good old vinegar to get my floors scrubbed. So I'm going to say it's off brand for me also.
Is this our first double off brand? I honestly can't remember.
Might be.
It might be.
Double hard off.
Because I feel like whenever one of us picks a brand,
it's
that
like
brand
you
is
love
on
it.
brand
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, there's the branding I'm into, but yeah, as far as the product, yeah, this is a double hard off.
Wow.
We're gonna have to come up with a name for that when we're
Let
both
us know
double.
how you feel about it. And I know we have a lot of gay listeners. If any of you are attracted to Mr. Clean, I'm curious to know about that.
Yes, I would
too.
love to hear about that. Well, that's it for Mr. Clean.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was very fun to learn about, a brand I knew nothing about, and I feel like I got some fun trivia. We found another Cincinnati connection, which I always love to do. So thank you. Very fun. Add it to the group. It's now canon, episode 103, I think, or 4. Before we go, I'm going to do a specific shout out really quickly.
Oh, to whom?
To Peter Hunt, who is a listener who enjoyed our Pog episode.
Oh.
And he had some Pogs. He had some Madonna Pogs and some...
Oh my gosh,
I
are they
left him
behind
here.
you?
So he sent us some Pogs. He wrote us and was like, John, I've got some Madonna Pogs. I want to send them to you. So he sent a little package that had like Snoopy Pogs in it and Madonna. And she's going to grab them. I forget what else was in there, but it was very sweet. So I just want to thank him for that. But we were messaging and I thanked him for the things. I think there was Garfield in there also. Or he brought up Garfield and I was like, oh, I was just at my mom's house recently and I came across like a signed Garfield poster that she had. And he was like, oh man, I love Garfield and James Dean. I've been to Indiana, but I've never been to the museum. And I was like, I'm sure you mean 2 museums, right? There's not a Garfield / James Dean museum. And he wrote back, it seems implausible,
Oh my
but
gosh.
apparently there is. So I looked
That
it
is
up.
crazy.
And I just don't even understand what this is. So here's the description of this place. Garfield the cat, one of the world's most recognizable and merchandisable comic strip characters, was brought to life by rural Indiana cartoonist. From those humble origins, Garfield has grown to the world's most syndicated comic strip, blah, blah, blah. The comic strip's author, Jim Davis, also happens to come from the same part of Indiana as another pop culture phenomenon, James Dean. Together, these two are commemorated in one single small museum in Fairmount, Indiana.
What is the real estate market in this town in Indiana that they cannot have two buildings?
I don't know. This museum apparently
That
has
is
the
crazy.
world's largest collection of James Dean's personal belongings.
Okay.
And that occupies most of the tiny building, though one section is dedicated purely to Garfield and other cartoons by the same author.
That is wild.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. I agree that they should have more space.
James, who's hotter? Would you rather James Dean or Garfield?
Oh, man. You know, I'm going to pick James Dean, but not for the reason you think, because I know Garfield's not going to share that lasagna. So I'll pick the hot man. So Peter, thanks for the pogs and thanks for that little bit of trivia that I never knew about. Before we go, I want to give our shout outs to our Freaks of the Week. If you're not familiar, every Wednesday on our Instagram story, I post an Insta Egg, which is a puzzle that lets you figure out what our brand is going to be that week. If you get it right, you get a little freak badge, and then you get your name added to the Wheel of Freaks. And every week I spin the wheel and pick 5 Freaks of the Week. Sometimes I also include the first person to get it right, which I'm doing this week, which was Skylar Dennison. So congratulations, Skylar. You're our first Freak of the Week. And the other 4 are Savannah Bowling, Tori, Tess, and Aaron Hall. So congratulations, you guys. Thank you so much for playing the Insta Egg. I have so much fun making those and love that you guys seem to have fun figuring those out. And for the people that are like, guess it right away, and they're like, Uno, duh. You know, the duh doesn't help. Like, sometimes I think it's good to have easier puzzles.
Yes.
And even if it's easy for you,
Sure.
it's not always
There's
easy for
always gonna be people who don't
always
get them.
somebody that doesn't
You're
get it.
right. You're
So
right.
maybe we keep our does to ourselves.
Because next week you might be struggling and you
That
might need a
happened
little
once.
hint.
That happened once.
Did it
Oh my
really?
God, it made me so satisfied
That's
because
so
I keep
funny.
the threads. I don't get rid of them. So one week
Yeah.
someone was like, it's this, duh. And I looked back at their last week and like, I need a clue. I can't figure this out. And I was like, weren't you asking for a clue last week? And they're like, oh, you got me. So I'm just kidding, you guys. But thank you so much for checking those out. And be sure to also check out our Instagram because every week we also post supplemental material that gives you visuals of the things we talked about in an episode. So it's a lot of fun going on there. Check it out on Instagram.
Yes, you can find that at On Brand the Pod on Instagram, at On Brand the Podcast on TikTok, On Brand the Podcast on YouTube, where you can watch this episode again that you just listened to. I don't know. If you feel like watching it, sure. You can see John's Beyoncé bucks fluttering live on your TV. And that we're all up to date on our nice reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, okay. We haven't gotten a review in a while. We're
Maybe
stuck
there's
at
a backlog.
335.
Maybe.
I look at other pods and they have 12,000.
Okay, well, if you haven't done it, now's the time. Please, please leave us a lovely review and we'll give you a shout out on the show. I also want to say we're trying something new. This was Alpal's request on Spotify, where in our main feed, it will have our Patreon episodes showed with a little lock, to kind of entice people to maybe unlock them and join the Patreon. So if you're
Or just let them know that it exists.
It exists, yeah. So if you're on Spotify, that's where you listen. Some of us listen on Apple, some on Spotify. You'll see those Patreon episodes available there. If you're already a Patreon subscriber, you're not missing anything. That's just another place for them to get to potential listeners' ears. If you like the show, tell your friends, spread the word, and we'll be back next week with an all new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic, as you saw here today. It could go anywhere from Beyoncé bucks to WeHo gay icons, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Goodbye.
On brand.